Hey guys, Hardcore Hector here with a quick review of Gogo Nippon, my first trip to Japan. Now this is a super short visual novel, and at first it seems like your typical romantic, sort of visual novel. You play as a foreigner going to Japan for about a week for the first time, and you're staying with some friends that you met online, but when you actually arrive in Japan, you find out that they're girls. Somehow you didn't know that they're girls, and you'll be staying with them and their parents aren't home for that entire week. And so you see that it seems like your typical anime, and there's even a few ecchi moments here and there. But you quickly realize that this game is pretty much just an educational game. So you're in Japan for 7 days. The prologue is the first day. The next 3 days you get to choose 3 out of 6 locations, and you get escorted by one of the 2 girls, Akira and Makoto, depending on the location you choose. The locations are Asakusa, Akihabara, Ikebukuro, Ginza, Shibuya, and Shinjuku. The 4th and 5th day you go to Kyoto with both of the girls, and the 6th day you either go to Yokohama with Akira or Kamakura with Makoto, depending on who you spent the most time with those first 3 days. And then the 7th day you go home. Now, this is mostly an educational game, and so each of those locations you just take in more of the history of Japan, more of the locations of Japan and stuff like that. And there's kind of a tiny love story in there, but you don't really see it until the 6th day when you're alone with one of the 2 girls. That's when the love story plays out, and then the epilogue after the 7th day. And that's pretty much all the love story there is. So it's mostly educational, which some might get turned off by. You should not go into this thinking it's a romance story or one of those type of visual novels. You'll just be taking in history of Japan and location information. So this game makes it seem like you have to keep a budget. You choose a currency at the beginning of the game, and your character is always worrying about money, but you don't actually buy anything. And there are a few dialogue choices on certain parts of the game, but the dialogue choices don't really mess with the relationship between the 2 girls. Like, it has no effect at all. The only choices that actually matter are the 3 locations you choose on those three days that you choose to visit. And that just matters who you end up with at the end of the game and which location you visit towards the end of the game. That's pretty much it. Now I know there's a newer version of Gogo Nippon, my first trip to Japan, that has more location choices. I'm not sure if it has other differences here and there, but I'm just strictly speaking about the original version. And when it comes to the art style, it switches between the anime type style, which is all 2D and flat, and a more watercolor looking style. So when you're looking at certain areas in Japan, or when you're looking at items that the characters are talking about, it kind of switches to this watercolor looking style, and then it might switch back to the characters. And the characters are completely still. There is no dialogue, there's no voice actors or actresses, I should say. And once you complete the game, you're rewarded with 3 extra sections at the main menu. There's a CG gallery with a bunch of still images from the game, a sightseeing album with info on each of the areas in the game, and a scene replay that allows you to replay select scenes from the game instead of going through the entire game again to reach a certain storyline section. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It's a super short game. You can probably get both paths and get all the history within about 6 hours, I would say. So I wouldn't really recommend this to anyone who is interested in the romance type visual novels or who wants more character development and stuff. It's just mostly an educational game for those people who are really interested in Japan and want to learn more about the different locations. That's pretty much all this game has to offer. So I hope you found this video review useful. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel for more video game reviews, commentary, gameplay, and strategy guides, because more is definitely coming in the future.